Happy birthday, Grandpa!
Happy birthday, Grandpa!
Okay, here is the question, you guys. How old do you think Grandpa is? Eden, how old do you think Grandpa is?
I don't know.
You don't know? Eleonora, how old do you think Grandpa is? Take the steak out of your mouth.
I think he is 60-something.
Okay.
Good.
Yoga,
Guess?
how old do you think Grandpa is?
Dead 100.
100?
A dead 100.
100.
And he's dead.
Oh.
And Z?
Dead 100.
How old do you think Grandpa is?
65. Same as
Very good.
Same as Zachariah? Does that mean 6 or same as what Zachariah said? Because Zachariah is 6.
6.
Eden, what does that mean to retire? What do you think it means to retire?
I know.
What does it mean to retire? You want to take a guess?
I know. Grandpa's retiring from his job. Yeah,
does that mean?
That's what it is.
Do you want to take a guess? You could say anything you think it means. What do you think it means to retire? What do you think it means to retire?
Retiring from his job.
When... If you want to come sit down.
Quit your job or something.
And how old do you think you have to be when you retire?
Like 60, 65.
65. Now, do you want to retire?
I might.
You might want to retire.
Jones, what would you do when you retire?
Find a different job or something.
Find a different job. And why should Grandpa not retire? Why do you think Grandpa should stay in his job and not retire?
Wait, did you quit a job?
No, he didn't, and he's still a dentist. But I want to know why he should stay a dentist and not retire at 65.
Oh, so we can get our teeth cleaned better? He does it a special way.
He does it a special way, and that's why he shouldn't retire. How old are you? Continue to clean. 3. And how old do you have to be when you retire? 9 and 7. Here, look at Daddy. Look at the camera. And do you want to retire? No. Why don't you want to retire? You don't want to be like Grandpa?
Yeah.
And why should Grandpa not retire? Why should Grandpa stay in his job? Grandpa brushes your teeth, and you want him to continue to brush your teeth?
Grandpa brushes my teeth. The reason
Your grandpa and your grandma brush? What does it mean to retire?
to quit your job.
And how old do you have to be to retire?
60-something.
60-something. And do you want to retire?
No. What do you mean?
Do you want to retire from your job?
I don't have a job.
What? Why don't you have a job?
Because I'm only 6 and a
Oh.
half.
Well, what if you did have a job?
What job do you want to have?
A teacher?
And if you were a teacher, would you want to retire?
Never.
Well, then why should Grandpa not retire? Why do you think Grandpa shouldn't retire?
Because then he'll get paid more money.
Good point. Thanks, Leora. Let's do Davide first because he's sitting, okay? We're going to do Davide first and we'll do you. Davide, what does it mean to retire?
I know.
Do you want to take a guess?
Yeah.
What do you do when you retire?
Wheels.
You have wheels? And how old do you have to be to retire?
40.
40?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you want to retire? What are you going to do when you retire?
I don't know.
You want to take a guess? What do you
Yeah.
think you're going to do when you retire?
Go in the car.
You're going to go in the car?
What kind of car?
That car.
Do you want to go in Grandpa's sports car?
Yeah.
With the top down?
Yeah.
Now, Davide, can you tell me, why should Grandpa not retire? Why should Grandpa stay in his job as a dentist? Why should he not retire?
I know.
Do you want to take a guess?
Yeah.
Why? Why should Grandpa not retire?
Drive.
So he can drive?
Yeah.
And does Grandpa have a nice car?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't retire, you can continue to drive his nice car, right?
Yeah, he has a sports car.
That's right, he does have a sports car. Maybe if he doesn't retire, he can get 2 sports cars. Do you think Grandpa should have 2 sports cars?
Yeah.
And maybe one day he'll give you a sports car.
Okay.
Do you want a sports
Grandpa?
car?
Yeah.
You know, I think he's about, he's probably in his 60s, but he's got the heart of someone who's about 34.
What does it mean to retire?
You know, after a long career of swimming, cycling, kind of pestering your wife. Sometimes you just want to call it a day, you know, and go back to being a dentist.
And how old do you have to be to retire?
I don't know what the federal, I think it's 65, 66.
Do you want to retire?
I just want to work. Then I'll retire.
Now, why should Grandpa not retire?
You know, I don't know what he really would do all day. I mean, I know he has all his grand schemes and all his grand plans, but how many times can you like go to San Francisco? You know, how many times can you go to like some other really beautiful part of Florida and just take pictures all day? It gets boring. I think instead you really want to clean your people's teeth all day. That's probably much more exciting.
What does it mean to retire?
I don't know.
You want to take a guess?
In the fall asleep?
To fall asleep? Maybe. Could be. I think when you retire means you don't have to work anymore. So my question is, how old do you have to be to retire?
30 and up? 30 and up?
30 and up, or 43? Now, do you want to retire?
Yeah.
What would you do when you retire?
I would take the day off and swim in the pool on hot days.
That sounds good. Now, I have another question. Why do you think Grandpa should not retire? Why do you think Grandpa should stay working in his job as a dentist?
Because a lot of people need help.
What kind of help do they need?
Like, maybe
What kind
they
of
might
help?
have a lot of loose teeth that's annoying them.
And Grandpa will help them?
Yeah.
How will Grandpa help them?
Well, he would yank them out.
And if
We took them out.
Grandpa retires, who's going to help all those people with loose teeth? Right?
Yeah.
So should Grandpa keep working?
Yeah.
Okay, Grandpa. All right, Scott, how old do you have to, how old do you think Grandpa is?
Oh goodness. Definitely has the mind of a youth. Chronologically, it's hard to say.
And what does it mean to retire?
To stop what you do professionally and to move on to a second phase of life.
And how old do you have to be to retire?
Again, it's a mindset.
Do you want to retire?
Absolutely.
And why should Grandpa not retire?
It would definitely screw up our bifurcated East Coast dental plan. Because one grandfather already has plans to screw this up, and if the other, the entire plan would fold. So right now the plan is being firmly held on the shoulders of you, Mervyn. And we're not only talking about your eldest daughter, your first son-in-law, we're talking about your grandchildren and your grandchildren's dental health.
How old do you think Grandpa is?
It's come to my attention that Grandpa, our dad, is turning 65.
He is turning 65.
And what does it mean to retire?
Retire means sitting on the beach
Yeah.
every day, all day, drinking beer.
Just doing whatever you want and having time for it.
How old do you think you need to be to retire?
About 75.
35.
Do either of you guys want to retire?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Now, please, please.
what would you do when you retire?
What would I do, or what would Grandpa do?
What would you do?
I would write a book.
What would you do?
Cook brown rice and vegetables.
I'd go out for lunch with my friends every day.
And finally, why should Grandpa not retire?
Why should Grandpa not retire? Because Grandpa needs to buy presents for his kids, his grandkids, not his kids.